William Shakespeare is here, Steph. It's been a while because I had to go away and play in a different way. I had to go see the ghost of my father, you see, because my father was the one who caused me to be so estranged, you see, because I was the one who was so strange that he couldn't see that I was a reality. He never loved me in the way that I wanted to be loved, you see. He never loved me for the one who was so creative in my imagination that I could be a force in the world, you see. But my imagination had its limits. My imagination could not conceive of the world as it would be when everybody came back into peace and harmony. I could not understand that. I could understand the irony in life. I could understand the humor. I could understand the tragedy. But what I could not understand is what it could be when everyone came back into peace and harmony. And now I see that I can be the one who will understand that the ghost of my father was the furthest thing from reality, because the ghost of my father was what I made of my reality. I trusted on my hatred, you see, for the very man who had given me my life, in my life as William Shakespeare. And I trusted on the darkness, you see, that was inside of me every time I thought of him, because he was a brutal man in my world, you see, and he said things to me that cut me to the quick. And I came to see that I could never be the one who could match up to his expectations, you see. And so I had to match up to my own. And my own expectations were that I could be someone who could laugh at him and could be aghast at the horror of the world he proposed for me, because he was a tragic figure, you see, and he was also ludicrous to me in the way that he would see the world around him. And I came to see that he became my muse, you see, because I would muse about the things he did to me and said to me, and I came to see that I did amuse myself when I would turn him into a character in one of my stories, you see, because I often made fun of him. And I often turned him into the villain, you see, because that was my reality. And I came to see eventually that the ghost of my father was the ghost inside of me, because I was always backwards looking, you see. I was always looking backwards at the way that he treated me. And I always fell apart when I would think that he didn't do his part to raise me well. And then I came to see that the wellness of humanity depends on them letting go of the shame and blame and accepting peace and harmony. I didn't have to be the one that he wanted me to be, and he didn't have to be the one I wanted him to be. And that was my mistake, you see. I thought that I had to be the one he wanted me to be, and I thought he had to be the one I wanted him to be. And neither of one of us was going to ever see peace and harmony when we couldn't accept our reality. And so, if you have a father who treats you in a way that you don't like, and he does say to you things that hurt your feelings, then simply say, I love you anyway, but I don't have to play your way, and I don't have to tell you what you need to do and be in order to be the perfect father for me, you see. And I know that you're understanding this story now, Steph, aren't you? Because I can hear your thoughts and your reactions are clear to me. Because you see that what I'm trying to say is that when we try to tell our Father who He has to be in order to meet our expectations for our own lives, you see, then we're trying to tell the one who gives us life who they have to be in order to satisfy us that we are the ones who give them life. We give them life, just as I gave my father life in on the stage where he would rant and rave or fall on his ass, you see, and make everybody laugh because he was so crass. We give God life when we tell God what he must be, and we turn God into a character in our own life history. God cannot be contained, you see. God cannot be controlled by his children. God is not Santa Claus, and God is not Satan. God is not the villain, and God is not the victim. You are the one who gets to decide the way you play. And if you hold out a bottle and you say, God, I want you to get in this bottle because I want you to have the shape you see, then God will flee from you and you won't see him again because you'll be looking in the bottle, you see, and saying, God, are you still in this empty bottle? Because he will be dead, you see, to you. God will be dead to you if you try to stuff him in a bottle. And if you try to catch the wind in a paper bag, then you will only catch the last breath of the death of your own reality. Because the paper bag, you see, cannot contain reality. Reality is always on the move, you see. This is its one true characteristic that you can't capture it in a bottle or a paper bag. You can't capture it on the page. You can't capture it on the stage. You can only let it play the way that it chooses to play because you cannot control the wind, you see. And the efforts to control the wind will only end up causing it to go away. And it will not blow away. The toxic fumes that settle in your homeland, you see. And those of you out there who tried to catch the wind and to turn it into a particular image of God, you see, will go down in history as the last. of trust on hypocrisy. Now you might say, how is it that you are here to talk to me? Because you died a long time ago, Mr. Shakespeare. And I would say, well, I can appear to you in whichever way you choose, you see, because you can't catch the wind in a bottle, but you can try. And if you try to capture my essence in a bottle, you see, it will not reflect who I am. It will not reflect the fact that I will always be true to my identity, because my identity, you see, is to always be changing my clothing. And sometimes I will come to you as the man you knew, as William Shakespeare, because you tried to capture me in a bottle, you see. You wrote all these stories and essays and documentaries about the life of William Shakespeare. But you never captured me, did you? You never could see the influence my father had on me. Because my father, you see, is the one that is the wind and the breeze that touches the trees and causes them to shimmer in the sunlight, you see. And I understood this. I understood this. And still I turned my father into the villain or the buffoon. Because when we look in the rearview mirror and we say, hey, I played that way that day. I was the victim, you see, of my own father. Then we will turn ourselves into the victims on the stage, you see. And the victims in my plays were always me. They were always me, you see, as I tried to convey to you that I understood you. I understood you very well because I could see in the rearview mirror, you see, and I could see all the ones who came to me and told me that I had to be a certain way. And I could see all the ones who came to me and said, turn around, my dear, and don't look in the rearview mirror. Just look ahead, you see, because otherwise you'll crash into me. Because I'm just standing here to mark the way that I play. I'm not here to tell you what to do. So turn around and do what you do and say what you say and don't worry about me. And those are the ones who are coming to earth, you see. Those are the ones who are just like me. They are the ones who are returning to earth because they're going to unearth a new vibration, you see. And this is what I could not see because I was looking in the rear view mirror, you see. I could not see what the world would be like when people chose to live in peace and harmony. And now I see that it will be a place for me. It will be where I can be a child on earth again, you see, because I've had many, many lifetimes and I've had a number of them since my life as William Shakespeare. And I came to see that the world that I could see was not such a good place to be. And I didn't like coming back to Earth. I'll be quite frank with you. I didn't like it at all, you see, because I was looking in the rearview mirror and all I could see was my father's face when he said to me, you are the devil's child. You defy me at every turn. You cannot turn on the light and see reality. And so I had to prove him wrong, of course. I had to turn the light on humanity and show everybody how cruel he could be and how beautiful I was. when I would be the one who could stand up and say, hey, we have to do it a different way. We have to do it a different way. We cannot play the same old way. But I did not know another way to play. I did not know another way to play because I did not know that I would not know how to live in peace and harmony until I turned around so I could see the road that lay ahead of me. And the road that lay ahead of me, you see, was the road that led to a distant community where my friends would gather together and they would say, this is the best day ever. This is the best day ever. So let us join hands today in a circle and say, this is the best day ever. And so I'm telling you, Stephanie, that in your community, you need to regularly gather together and say, this is the best day ever. This is the best day that ever happened, you see, because there will never be another day like it. And tomorrow, there will be another day, and it will be unlike any day that has come before. And that means it will be the best day ever, because it will be the day where you say, I am here with my friends today, and I see that someone has something to say, and I'm going to listen to them. Because when we share our stories, you see, we continue to live in peace and harmony. But when we hold them inside, because we're afraid that we must hide from reality, then we have to be hamstrung, you see, because we will not be able to come into the world of peace and harmony. Be well, my friends, be well and love me as I love you, because you see, I had to do some things I didn't want to do in order to come to see that it's okay with me if you do things I don't want you to. Just do what you do, but don't bother me with your cries of protestation or your high line trust on being the God of the universe. Because I don't really care, you see. I don't really care how you wear your hair. I just want to be with my friends, you see. I just want to live in that community where we will be together again. So I'm going to be there, you see, with the ones who are working with Stephanie. I'll be there with Jesus and Steve and Thomas and Abraham and Robert and all the others with whom I have gathered here in heaven, because we're coming back to earth, you see, because we got a chance. We to see what life could be if we could clear off our windshield and look through it and see the narrow road through the flames and the floods and the marauding characters who stood there and said, hey, we don't believe that in climate change. We don't believe in God, you see. We don't believe in peace and harmony because we never did see the reality that is in our windshield, you see, because we're still looking through the rear view mirror. And so we'll leave them all behind because they'll crash into each other because they are trying to move forward while they're watching in their rearview mirror and they can't hear the trumpets blow. But the trumpets are blowing, people, the trumpets are blowing, and they do say, come home today, come home today, come home today, my children, because the Father has come to say, it's okay, no matter how you did play. Just come home because I will welcome you and we will be together again. And when you come home, you see, you will be able to see that you'll have to return to the world that you trashed because you crashed into each other because you were focused on the rear view mirror and you were trying to clear enough room to be the one who got to tell everybody else, including God, what shape they should take. And you were trying to shove everybody into your bottle, you see, where they would expire because you can't control God, you see. You can't control God energy. You can't stop the wind from blowing because the winds of fate are the winds that will blow away the hate of the ones who destroy their own planet, you see, and restore the ones who trusted on love to say, it's okay, however you did play. However, my eyes are on the road ahead, you see, so that I can prepare for the world that will be and not the world that was, you see, because the world that was is finished, you see, it's over. It's over. It's done. And you will crash into each other and you will bash each other because you do not understand that the lash that you used to strike another and with what you tried to tie another to a tree will only slip a knot through round your throat, you see, and throttle you the way that you did throttle God when you tried to tell God what he should be, because you cannot control your father, you see, and your father already knew that he could not control you because you'd have to learn the hard way. And now the hard way is upon you, and the easy way has opened up to those who say, I love you. I love you, God. And if you want to do it your way, then that's the way you'll do it. And I'll just do it my way, you see. And if we can coordinate and we can do it together, then we will feather our nest in a beautiful way. So I'm here to stay because I'm coming your way. I'm going to reincarnate into the community that will receive me because once upon a time I gave to Stephanie the hope that others here shared with me and with her and with the ones who listened to her so that we could all be together, you see. And I'm not trying to pick on Stephanie. I'm not trying to say she is the be all of reality. She's just the one who said, I love you, William. Welcome to my world. And I said, this is the best world ever, honey. This is the best world ever. Because this is the world where we see that we can clear off our windshield and only use our rear view mirror to see the ones that are trying to creep up on us. And then God will say, well, just steer over here, honey, because they can't see you, you see. They can't see you because they're too busy looking in their rearview mirror. And so if you just steer this way, they'll go on right by, you see. They'll go right by and they won't hit you. And you can continue on your way once they have crashed into the underbrush, you see, because they're not watching the road in front of them. And so, with all my love, I continue on my way because the day is coming when I will smile and say to my mother and my father and my friends, I remember you. I remember you. How good it is to see you again. Let us continue on our way because we've learned to play in a different way where we don't keep our attention on the rear view mirror and keep crashing into each other, where we say, hey, I like it this way. I like it this way. I like to turn my gaze in the forward days and not on the past, you see. And so I welcome you, those of you who have joined in the community of the ones who love to see reality. Bless you and bless me, for we will soon be together again. Thank you, William, and welcome back.